Hi, everyone, and
Hello.
welcome back. Welcome back to the Governor's Office of Disability Affairs conference for our third day, fourth session. It's been a great conference so far. On this session, this session will be in regards to assistive technology. And Jamar Ennis, attorney and director Jamar Ennis, will be the facilitator for this session. So I will turn it over to him. Jamar.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Bambi. We'd like to welcome you to our session entitled Assistive Technology, which takes place from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. We'd like to go ahead and begin by introducing our panelists and presenters, Mr. Chuck Roberts and Yakima Black. We're going to start ladies first, as always, with Yakima Black, who is the president and CEO of Louisiana Assistive Technology Network, otherwise known as LATAN, which is the state assistive technology program for Louisiana and is funded by the Administration for Community Living, also known as ACL. Ms. Black has a master's degree in clinical rehabilitation and for 25 years has served as the Chief Executive Officer of nonprofit organizations and has been a really good pillar in the community in providing and serving the needs. Ms. Black has also been a former GACTA member of our council. We encourage everyone to look at the link provided to get the full bio, and amongst the bios included is Mr. Black. Next, our next speaker, we have Mr. Chuck Roberts, who will go first on today's slate for the Assistive Technology portion. Mr. Chuck Roberts has a bachelor's degree in special education from the University of Oklahoma. Working as an advocate in the disability movement has given Chuck the opportunity to work with families and people with disabilities. Chuck lives by the motto, if you need a piece of assistive technology that does not exist, just build it. Chuck has coordinated registrations for the Oklahoma State Department of Education on the contract of Oklahoma Assistive Technology Center and has with the State of Department of Education. Chuck also serves as a family self-advocate Chuck also serves as family self-advocacy for several courses related to disabilities at the Health Science Center of the University of Oklahoma. Chuck also presents and serves as a self-advocate at numerous state conferences and lends himself to agencies needing consultations on disability issues. Chuck brings his experience of being the ninth child of 10 to his curriculum and presentations. That's my daughter Aria, who's participating in this conference. So she is excited to have Mr. Chuck Roberts with this presentation. So without further ado, Mr. Roberts, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jamar. Let me share my hang on. All right. My name is Jeff. As he said, I am number 19 kids. I have lots of nieces and nephews. I have about 35. So, and I also have 12 brothers but I guess I'm well known for my assistive technology. Because in my job, I work with OD and PD as they are becoming OD and PD. So they know me well. I want to tell you what we mean by AD. Anything that allows a person to be more independent in work or employment or just in their life. I could not live without AD. I live AD 24/7. And today I'm going to tell you about my house. I live in my own house, not apartment. I was fortunate to get my house. My but as you can imagine, my house is filled with all kinds of advanced technology. My latest thing is I recently remodeled my front door. My brother is a carpenter, and one day he was watching me go out my front door, and he said, "Hey, Jeff, why don't we remodel the front door to make it more easy to get in and out?" I wanted to say about time. I've been saying that for 22 years, but I didn't. I kept my mouth shut. But now my front door is easy for me to get in and out. And I do have an automatic door opener. Before I go on, I want to bring to life two terms, and they are high tech and low tech. And if you don't know, high tech tends to not be more I am like my gift on my band. Yeah. But my favorite is low tech. I am a low tech junkie. I, I like to make my own AD. And I live by the idea if you can think it, you can make it. So I make all kinds of stuff along with a friend of mine. And I dare the buses, the van, anything that allows that normally costs money. But on the right, you can see my cell phone charging down that I made. And all it is a board with the USB plug mounted on the board. And I can slide the phone on the board and connect the USB charging. And again, I could not live without and this is my drinking straw. I like my Dr. Pepper. I can't live without my Dr. Pepper. So I came up with a long drinking straw. And all it is refrigerate tubing that carry water to your eye maker. And that's why I use you can buy what they call therapy drugs, but they cost more money. And I am cheap. I don't have to spend money. And this is my next open. I don't know if you can see that on top of the image. But it has a blade on it where I can drag it across the bag and open the bag by myself.
Chuck, this is Bambi. Can you put the your slide to full screen?
I'm blind. I'm booga.
I think if you go to slide or, okay. I think that's better.
How is that?
Is that better? Or maybe display settings, go to display settings at the top. And if you can make it the
I did.
full,
I did.
okay. I think that's good.
Is that better? I forgot this is. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'm bad.
No, you're doing great. Thank you.
I'm going. This is my lounge chair where I lay on the back of my chair and watch TV. And you can see all my remotes on the back of my chair. And oh, this is my kitchen table. I took off the top and put blocks under the top, and that way it raised up the table for me to get my knees under. And again, my brother did that for me. Oh, this is my remote. I am the Velcro king. I like Velcro. I cannot live without it. This is another device. This is how I pick up things that I drop from the book. And what it is I just pen that I put down on the book and keep what I drop into the pen and put up on the couch and get it out. Because if I drop my glasses in the morning, I am a dead duck. I can't see a thing. This is my bed. Is the same height as my chair, and my brother built that because I will always move the bed, and I get my brother got tired of coming over and moving it back. So he moved the bed to the pool, and that way it can't move. I don't know what I'll do if I ever buy new carpet. But this is how I'm doing my dinner. My brain made that. And well, I keep putting my chair because I am a night owl. I stay up all night and I get into bed by myself. By the way, I forgot to tell you that I do have a tender care. My aide come in twice a day and does whatever I need. And we lower my thermostat where I can have total control over my environment. And this is one of my attendants. He is getting me dressed. And I could not live without my attendant. Oh, I do have a DVD, but I don't think I have time enough to show it. But that was really quick. I normally do this in an hour, but now I would like to take questions. I answer any and all questions.
Great presentation, and we greatly appreciate your approach to assistive technology. We do have a few questions, particularly one question that is caught my attention is, have you ever thought about patenting some of your ideas?
Yes, but I like to tell people how to do things that they may need in their life. I think it is more important to share ideas rather than make a ton of money. Don't get me wrong, I like money, but ideal sharing is more important to me.
Thank you for your response, Mr. Tuck, and greatly appreciate clarity. And it was also asked if you can provide more of a detailed list of your inventions. But we have a question from the chat. Um, and here's the response in the question. Thanks for sharing, Mr. Chuck. Glad to hear assistive technologies has made your quality of life so much better, and it has mine. Love your ingenuity too, but I must ask, how do you like your steak cooked?
I like medium rare. The pinker, the better.
I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment. I'm a medium guy myself, but yeah, just the more you cook it, the more meat that you can appreciate. Okay, so another question we have is um, from the chat. Excuse, my baby is she's hungry, so I got to go feed her soon. Is there a particular area that you feel we as professionals and self-advocates do not discuss in the realm of assistive technology?
That's a good question. Yes, I like to talk about personal care and how it's important because if you think about it, we cannot live without personal care. And if in if anyone is interested, you can email me and I can tell you how I go to the bathroom because it also entails assistive technology. And if I did not have that assistive technology, I could not live on my own, or I could not go to work. So, if you are interested, email me and I can tell you what I use and why I bring this up. And because personal care is why I lost my job at one time. They would not allow me to use my assistive technology, and it cost me my job. And that's why I bring it up.
Thank you for answering that important question. And last question that we have for you. Obviously, assistive technology has made an important, has played an important part in the way you live, the way you do things. And the next question is, what is your favorite assistive technology, whether it be a device, application, and why is that particular device your favorite?
I tell people I don't have a favorite device because it depends what I am doing at that time. Because if I am opening a course, I need that. If I am typing on my computer, I need that. So they are all my favorite when I need it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Echoing one of our responses that we received in the chat, um, I feel the same way. Our participant says, I feel like this is going to spark so much creativity in the disability community and help empower us to solve our own problems in a common sense, DIY way. Thank you for sharing your expertise, Mr. Roberts.
I'm glad I'm glad to do it. And you can always email me and we can talk.
Again, thank you for your awesome presentation, Mr. Roberts. We're going to shift more towards the public and nonprofit world, and we're going to shift towards the expertise of Ms. Yakima Black, who is the CEO and president of LATAN. We're going to hold her questions to the end. So, Yakima, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jamar, and thank you, Chuck. I really enjoyed your presentation. You are quite the genius with your ingenuity in creating your own AT devices.
Thank you.
Low cost. Thank you. I am going to see if I share my screen the correct way. Alrighty, how is that, you all? Am I sharing with you? Let's see.
Yes.
Okay, great.
We see your screen, and we also ask if you can maximize it to its full potential, if you can. Thanks.
Okay. I think that has to do with my view. If you will bear with me 1 second.
Yeah, I think my fault. Will you get out of that? And I will take mine off.
Okay, thank you. This is Jamar. I am not really sure what is happening why I'm not able to do that. Let's see. Screen. How does the technology have problems?
I think that's a very interesting question that we can always discuss.
I find that we're the ones that will usually have the problem with the technology. Let's see. Jamar, I have no idea why it's in this particular mode. I'm gonna stop sharing so that I can not see you all first. And maybe that's gonna exit full screen.
Excuse me, someone actually put in the chat earlier that the F5 key starts presentation mode in PowerPoint.
Okay, let's see. Thank you. Is that Lillian?
Yes.
Thank you. Is that Shift F5, Control F5?
Yakima, if you started again, it was just the way that he had it how he was viewing it.
Okay. Okay, y'all, how was that?
Can't see it.
Share your screen.
when
That is so odd. I have my whole screen here and now you guys, you can't see it. Let's see.
Yakima, yesterday when I had to do this, I did share screen and then I had to get it into the presentation mode.
Okay. Let me see if I can get back to where I can see you all because I can't right now.
try that again because I got it on mine.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Can you see me?
yeah.
Okay, I don't know why. Where did you go? Bambi, you all, I may have to leave for a second and come back. I can't see, I am not able to see you
The
all. I
share
don't have
screen option.
my screen is up, but I am not able to see where, yes, this is one of these times where we are getting ready to demonstrate a device and something goes wrong. This worked 20 minutes ago, no problem. So I apologize and thank you for your patience. I'll start with, I thought I'd tell you all a little bit about who we are, because it's, as I've been with Latan for about 5 years next month in August, I am recognizing that there have been many changes, not just with the organization, but with partners and different folks that we, that Latan was familiar with over the years and worked with over the years, and folks have retired and changed, and it's necessary for us to reintroduce ourselves, if you will. Bambi, are you able to see this? Do you have the presentation?
Not yet.
Okay.
You sent it to me. I'm looking. As soon as I get it, I'll let you know.
Okay, let me open. Okay, so just a little bit of history. So based on LATAN, or the Louisiana Assistive Technology Access Network, was established as Louisiana's AT program in 1992. The program itself was one of the programs for the Louisiana Department of Health, and as I understand it, housed under the office, under the DD Council rather. And in 1994, LATAM was incorporated as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So we are one of 8 nonprofit AT programs in the country, as well as one of 56 AT programs that are federally mandated and funded and monitored by the Administration for Community Living. Bambi, let me know, because I don't know what you can see yet. So if
We can't see anything. It's just you, and I haven't received your PowerPoint through email.
okay, you said you
Hey.
are, you're not.
I have not. I can see you, but I haven't received your PowerPoint.
Okay,
Hey.
I'm gonna try to share it again and see what happens.
Yakima, I could begin to ask some of the questions that we received regarding
Okay,
program. Feel
well,
comfortable.
I'm okay. I can see my screen. If I can go through the presentation.
I have it now. I'm about to
Okay,
show.
Okay, great.
okay, Bambi, if you will, start on page 3,
Okay.
or slide 3 rather. There we go. Thank you. Okay, it's as stated in the AT Act, disability is a natural part of the human experience and in no way diminishes the rights of individuals to live independently, to enjoy self-determination and make choices, to benefit from an education, to pursue meaningful careers, and to enjoy full inclusion and integration into the economic, political, social, and cultural mainstream of society. And we all believe that technology helps to make that possible. Next slide. The 21st century technology, or in the 21st century, assistive technology is where we all as AT providers in the country see things moving towards. And it's the recognition that older adults today are, and I'm calling older adults between the ages of 55 and 64, many of which have a developing disability or functional limitation. In Louisiana, over 40% of people ages 65 and older identify as having a disability or a functional limitation. In 2019, United States Senator Susan Collins, who's a Republican out of Maine, stated that advances in technology have been working to bridge the gap and improve function and activities of daily living, helping to manage multiple chronic conditions, reducing risk of hazards such as falls, and making homes for seniors safer. That while the early legislation that established AT programs mostly focused on people with disabilities, AT in the 21st century will obviously need to focus on the growing and diverse needs of older adults or seniors, many of whom we know are still working. Baby boomers are still working. And so in that regard, we're looking at AT on a broader perspective. So LATAM's mission and who we serve, everyone in the state of Louisiana with a functional limitation or who has disabilities, and we help to achieve greater independence, whether it's at home, at work, or at school. We do cover the entire state of Louisiana, no matter where someone lives. And in a moment, I'll get into talking about some of those programs. Next slide, please. Our vision is to have a future in Louisiana in which individuals who use AT can achieve a greater level of independence, are more satisfied with their lives, and have greater access to their communities. That does include leisure and recreational activities. We strive to bring, we strive to bring that vision to fruition every day through our outreach in the community and within the services that we provide. Next slide, please. I'm going to skip this section because I think that Mr. Chuck did a good job of telling you what AT is. It does include software. It does include mounts that are used to house a particular speech generating device onto someone's wheelchair, and other types of equipment that is used to support AT, such as software. What's available? So AT awareness. So no matter what state you're in, or if you're in one of those 6 territories, part of the AT Act is to make people aware of what's available. Unless you're doing performing some of the activities that Chuck described a moment ago, where you are creating uh, your own types of AT to assist, such as using a broom to help reach something that is too high on a shelf to knock it down to reach for it. There's reachers and grabbers now, but that ingenuity is how people began to look at technology to make things accessible to them. But overall, what we require to do as an AT program relative to awareness is to allow someone to try out a device, different types of devices through a demonstration, um, in order to obtain hands-on experience with available technology. Those demonstrations occur for an individual or an AT user, their family members, couldn't be a personal care attendant, anyone, someone on the job, it could be a co-student at school. Anyone can participate in a demonstration to compare certain features of certain types of technologies, experience it for the first time, and more importantly, to make a decision about whether or not that particular device is going to work for you, or whether or not something else, a different type of device, will be more suitable for your needs. And the point to try it out is to be aware, but also to recognize what's there before making a costly purchase. Latan's new demo center showcases a diverse selection of AT equipment, over 600 devices, different types of devices, covering various types of functions, whether it's vision or hearing or communication. Some speech devices are there as well. We provide, while our demonstration center is here in Baton Rouge, as mentioned previously, we can go anywhere in the state to provide demonstrations on site. Can be at your home, in a facility, or at work, in a school, various settings. And since COVID, we now provide them virtually. And the only thing the caveat there is that virtual demonstrations, there's only certain types of device demonstrations that a user may benefit from. Ideally, you want to be able to touch, feel, turn it around, try it out. And sometimes demonstrations that are performed virtually are limiting in that aspect if you can't touch and feel that device firsthand. So ultimately, while we can, through a pandemic, provide a service to you virtually, we'd like to see it. The demonstrations are more beneficial in person. Next slide, please. Let's try it out. So we recognize again that the demonstrations cannot provide the same level of experience as an ability to see how that device or equipment will be used in that person's own environment. The device loan, it picks up where the demonstrations leave off. So when you make a decision that you've seen a device and you may like it, we allow you to borrow that device for up to 90 days to try it out before you buy it. This is really important because if, as my colleague presented a moment ago, stated, some devices can be costly, especially if they're more on the high tech level. There's other things that you may want to know and try out, like what does it have Does a particular device that you've seen on the market, is it easy to use? Are the instructions easy to follow? Are they easy to remember? Is it suitable for your particular home or the environment that you want to use it in? The device loan program allows you to try them out before deciding whether or not you want to permanently acquire the device itself. Next slide, please. So the types of devices that are available to borrow are all of the devices that are in our demo center. And as mentioned, some of them are mounts, that different types of mounts, different types of hand switches, or jelly switches to use. Whatever you see in the demo center is typically available to borrow, unless it's something like one of the reclining lifts that would be too heavy to move, or one of the major environmental controls that we can't ship or you can't come to our demo center and purchase. But there are areas such as communication and vision, small devices like the Glass Ouse or Candy HD, high definition magnifiers that allow someone to read their documents and that speak directly into their ears, or specialized keyboards that are ergonomically designed to assist with dexterity or limited fine motor skills. Travel scoots, and also many devices that assist with environmental controls, such as being able to turn your lights off and on. Or using, I mentioned here the Echo because it's one of the mainstream technologies that I think many people are using for convenience. But essentially, if you're controlling your room or the temperature of your room with your voice, or your lights off and on, those types of devices are available for display, and many of which can be borrowed out of our demo center. Next slide, please. So access and acquisition, this is the next two required features that AT programs such as LATAN must offer. It is essentially, how do we get to a point where you can own your own AT, not borrow it for temporarily to try it out, but you've made a decision that you want it. One of the ways that we think is amazing, and I think it helps with federal funding, and it's one of the parts of the AT Act policy that Congress is able to appreciate and get behind because it saves individuals money. That is the reutilization program, where you're able to go onto LATAN's AT Marketplace, which is a online database that allows the user to browse current inventory of the AT devices, and offers many different gently used devices that are just available for open-ended loans and available for free. So, and what we mean by open-ended is that you use it as long as you no longer need it. Use it until you no longer need it, or until you want something else, and then you return it back to us, and then someone else can borrow it if there was only that one device available. Also, the marketplace allows for sellers to register and sell their gently used devices or equipment at a reduced cost. If you see on our marketplace that there is an item and it has a price tag literally for sale, that means it's coming from a private individual who is selling maybe a modified vehicle that they no longer need onto the marketplace, and we allow people to do that. Sometimes people will just simply donate items to us, and we're able to refurbish them, say if it's a computer, and allow someone to use it for as long as they need it. And these devices also include software. Devices by category, I'm going to run through because I see that I am running out a little bit of time. They include daily living, hearing, vision, mobility, learning, speech, and communication. There is a web address there to get directly to the website. Go to the AT Marketplace, or you can email at info@latan.org. Next slide. I'm going to run through these relatively quickly, but the next way that happens to be one of the programs that's within Latan's purview is the alternative financing programs. We have a cash loan program in our partnership with one of our banking institutions here in the state. And they're designed to assist people who may not be able to qualify for a traditional loan if you were just to go to the bank on your own. The cash loan allows for borrowing for the purchase of AT up to $50,000. And typically that's a high-end item. So we see cash loans request for home or vehicle modifications, or some expensive speech generating devices as well. We've had the cash loan program since 2001. Next slide, please. Some of the, I wanted to go into the socioeconomic barriers that many people with disabilities, they experience due to poverty, low incomes, or simply being inundated with monthly limited expenses due to, associated costs to living with a disability. We've been able to expand our alternative financing programs to assist with some of these issues just to assist with that. I want to go through some of the, if I can quickly. Working adults facing many challenges that are compounded by limited participation in the labor market. We know that 84% of households are considered, they don't have a bank or they're underbanked. So they may just simply use money orders, or they're getting their checks. They're able to cash them, but they're using money orders or payday loans, car title loans, all of those banking or financial options contribute to not having the best resources or creating to some economic barriers. Our alternative financing programs are designed to build credit to overcome some of those areas where we do not charge interest on some of the lease options. Next slide, please. On some of the lease options, Bambi, can you go back to maybe slide 13? I'm missing a slide on, there it is. The lease option is one of our zero interest programs that you can do a short-term lease for up to 6 months when you need to maybe use equipment temporarily, like if someone is needing to travel, or just know that they're only going to need the particular equipment for a short period of time. That's available. A lease can be canceled at any time. There is no credit requirements. There is no information that requires, we don't make decisions as to whether or not you can lease a piece of equipment brand new based on your income or your credit history. We use information such as your proof of monthly income and your expenses in order to decide how you can comfortably make payments on those options. And then there's a lease to own option as well that allows you to buy something outright through programs. I want to say here that the lease to own option is one of the programs that many times people will purchase AT that is for a leisure or recreational activity that for sure insurance will not pay for, and they'll come through the lease program for that. And you can lease up you can lease AT up to $20,000. Up to slide 15, I think, Bambi. Now we're here. The Revolving Loan Fund is the newest program, and that is related to helping individuals build credit if they're experiencing some of these socioeconomic barriers that I mentioned a moment ago. It is attached with increasing your money management skills to increase access to mainstream technologies used in banking, that we allow for a financial management program to increase literacy for financial management, as well as the opportunity to prepare for by purchasing devices needed for natural disasters. We use a sliding fee scale as well as the federal poverty level for households to establish a line of credit. And it's again designed to help AT users continuously have credit to purchase technology. So it works like a credit card. Is once you, if whatever your line of credit is, so if you receive $10,000 a $10,000 line of credit with us, but the device that you needed cost $3,000, you're paying it down, and as you're paying that amount down, the amount of money replenishes itself, and so you always have access to buy whatever you need through credit with Latan now. We do not make again, it's designed to build wealth, build credit. So while we are using the credit that you establish with Latan to assist with making positive reporting to credit bureaus, we do not report negative entries to the credit bureau. So this is one of the programs that is about a year old, and we encourage everyone to take advantage of it. Next slide, please. Okay, I think we talked a little bit about increasing the digital divide. And that's just simply recognizing, we all found out last year that there were many people who didn't have access to computers or technology. We knew more so from our relationship with the Baton Rouge Parish Main Library that there are over 700 patrons per day that come into the main library just to use the computers and the internet. And the revolving loan program was designed to help with that. So as we prepare to go into hurricane season, the hotspots, tablets, solar charging for small devices can be obtained through this program as well, very specifically on a loaner type of option or lease to own. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So we are Latan is a vendor for VR, and as well as a community choices waiver provider through the Office of Aging and Adult Services, as well as looking, and through that process, we integrate what we do normally with Latan. All our regular programs are built into those assessments that we provide. If there's a less expensive way to use technology, coupled with looking at a physical modification to your home, those are the types of recommendations that we make. We accept Medicare as well as some Medicaid programs. Next slide. Transition services, the only thing I'm going to say about that is that there are many people who are with schools and with transition services. because of some of the policies, some of those AT devices that are provided in the school systems cannot be taken home, though there are many policies that are trying to get to work around that. We are able to bridge a gap with possibly duplicating some of the AT that is used in the schools if kids need that same AT that is at home, as well as for children who are in LRS services and needing pre-employment AT that they're kind of in between stages and may or may not have access to the technology needed. We also assist with outpatient rehab when the AT that was used in rehab, folks need access to that type of AT once they leave and get back into their home. Next slide. Okay, next slide. Technical training and technical assistance. So we provide we provide technical training and technical assistance mostly on planning and setting up the environmental controls that are necessary for smart home technology. We conduct AT assessment in some schools who are not receiving it from our counterparts with AIM, as well as some complex technologies. We're allowed to allow some of the rehab facilities to do corporate loan devices with us for equipment that they may not need. Equipment that they absolutely need, but maybe that facility hasn't, they don't have it on hand. Like for instance, some of the complex technology that we have, we can loan it to some of the smaller rehab facilities to allow them to borrow it. Next slide. Bambi, in the sake of time, because I see there's questions coming up, I won't go all the way through this. You all can see that on the side. We do participate with MDAC and emergency response, and local providers to replace some of the DME lost and left behind after a natural disaster. And during the pandemic, there were several older adults and children with autism that benefited from borrowing some of our sensory pets to assist with the isolation and the loneliness with outside of their regular routine. Next slide. We are currently looking for AT users, organizations that serve people with disabilities, to allow for regular use of certain devices to set up AT centers. And there is an open invitation right now for AT users to join LATAN's fiscal year 22 AT Advisory Council to assist us with strategic planning as well as quality improvement of LATAN services overall. And that's in a nutshell what the Advisory Council can do, but it's a little bit more than that. Next slide. Contact information. So if you're interested, or anyone you know may be interested in becoming one of our AT centers throughout the state, or to participate as an advisory council member, please contact me. And that's my information on the screen, as well as information about the marketplace. We are on social media. YouTube has a number of our demonstrations of devices that are, there's a number of videos on YouTube that for which we can show you what those devices look like. There's a blog, I think, on Facebook and also Instagram that will provide more information about LATAN services. And
thank you so much.
With that, thank you for your time, and I will entertain questions.
Thank you so much, Yakima, for that. Very informative. We have a great appreciation for what you do for our citizens who access to technology, especially when other companies and other means aren't available to. One question we had was from the chat. question is framed as in the context of natural disasters. Much of my AET is useless without electricity. Is there a program that assists me to purchase and install a generator?
Not a large generator. Well, let me double back and say that. If yes, short answer, yes. The generators, as I appreciate it, can cost anywhere from $1,300 on up to 14 or 15,000. Those are large ticket devices, or large ticket. They're just large cost. And so one of the alternative financial programs, if you have a disability, or live in a household with someone, your family member, yes, you can obtain one of the smaller solar charging stations that I mentioned earlier. They're between $300 to $500, or if it is a generator, can come through one of the alternative financing. Probably considering the cost would either be, well, I guess any of them. So depends on how much it costs. So the cash loan program could work for that, or the lease to own option, because it would not be a device that we would take in return. And I should have said that earlier. When we're helping AT users make a decision about which alternative financing program to take advantage of, it is usually thought in mind. Do we want, is it a personal hygiene type of item? We're not normally going to take that back. And so it would be a lease to own. Or if it's something like a generator that, you know, if you live in Louisiana, you're going to need it, that would be a lease to own option. And then, of course, the revolving loan program as well. So short answer, that was not a short answer, but yes. Long answer is yes, the alternative financing options. If you are an AT user, or if you have a person in your home who has a disability, though the generator can be purchased, considering life and death sort of situations, if you do not have the resources that you need. I mean, if you're out of, if you use life-sustaining technology.
Great response, great question. And I just want to encourage all our participants, reach out to me if you have any other questions, concerns with Latam. And also, Black is, of course, has been with our advisory council, and we have an accessibility committee within the council. So of course, regular overlap there where we feature Latam. It's also very helpful with our agency area of resolving constituent concerns. So moving forward, if there's any questions, concerns that have not been answered, I would like to take them to.
Jamar, if I can add one last thing, I did not mention that for the last probably 15 or 20 years, Latam has, and the demo center was located at 3042 Old Forge. We will no longer be on Old Forge off of College Drive. We are moving into the demo center, which is located at 10988 North Harrells Ferry Road in Baton Rouge. And again, no matter where you live, we are able to travel to where you are to provide whatever resources that you need. There is a wealth of items that are currently on the AT marketplace. If you do not see a device on the marketplace in a particular area that you need, I am encouraging you to call and ask, because we're in the process of uploading new devices onto the marketplace. And again, those items are free. We will also bring your devices to you and train you on how to use them. So, and that's before I'm gonna say you should probably take a look at the devices before I would make a purchase, I would probably check the marketplace to see if something is on there that you need. And it's everything from DME items. There are some that we keep aside specifically for emergency response, wheelchairs and walkers and rollators, but these are sticky items that you can find on the marketplace too. I think I saw a question that asked if the demo center is on the bus route. It is. I can't tell you what bus it is, but I do know that it's at the corner of Sherwood Forest and North Harrell's Ferry. It's 10988 North Harrell's Ferry Road. And we are still following COVID procedures. So while the demo center is open, please give us a call and set up an appointment for a demo. And we can, it's a large place, so we can serve up to 3 or 4 people at once from the same group. If you schedule with your family to come in for a tour.
Thank you very much for that information and that invitation. Certainly it is a great tutorial and a great thing to participate in. I've done it several times, and I encourage anyone who's in the market for assistive technology to take Ms. Black up on her offer. Okay, so we're going to have a 13-minute break between our next session, which is the FAIR program, and it will feature Ms. Libby Whiteside and Ms. Pat Holmes. So we'll be back in 12 minutes to begin the final session. Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate your time.